Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 11th Lebanon City Council meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Mike Kincaid.
Present.
Keith Campbell.
Here.
Sandra Jasanowski.
Here.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
John Copeland.
Here.
Forgot your name. Sorry.
Thank you.
Jason. Sierra Messenger.
Present.
Robert Hawkins.
Here.
Sorry.
We do have quite a few minutes. Tanya's been a busy bee here. Go ahead if you want to read them off.
Yeah, so these are the minutes from April 28th, May 12th, May 27th, June 9th, June 23rd, July 14th, and July 28th. Brings us up to date.
Congratulations. I know it's been, that audit came at the very wrong time.
Yeah.
So any edits to those minutes? Okay, we entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for April 28th, May 12th. July 14th and July 28th.
Thank you, Mike. Motion, is there a second? Second from Rob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. All right, on to old business. First item up here is ordinance 2025-33. This is an ordinance amending the use of golf carts on Lafayette Avenue, and this ordinance is on second reading. This is Councilwoman Jasnowski's ordinance. So if you just want to give a quick reintroduction to everybody.
Just real quick there, just wanted to reiterate, there's no access from State Road 52 or 65, Interstate 65. So it's not a safety issue now. And Lafayette Avenue is accessible to several different communities on that side of town. We're going to have a park on Lafayette Avenue, and it will be convenient for families to be able to go up and down that road to get there. And it's the golf carts, as far as Lafayette Avenue, it's a convenient way to travel, to get a lot of different places in town and short distances, whether it's for errands or social events. It's just something that is a necessity for our city right now and for all of the growth that we've had. And it's pretty much what I look at.
Thank you. At this time, if there's any public comment on ordinance 2025-33, please come forward. Seeing none, I'll have Rob read the ordinance on second reading, and then we'll have council discussion and motions if people make them.
Thank you, Mayor. Council. Ordinance 2025-33, again, is an ordinance of the city amending ordinance 2018-09 to permit the use of golf carts on Lafayette Avenue. As this council knows, the city adopted ordinance 2018-09 governing the use of golf carts within the city's corporate boundaries. This ordinance will, or previously, ordinance 2018-09 prohibited the use of golf carts on Lafayette Avenue. So this ordinance 2025-33 amends ordinance 2018-09 and essentially removes the prohibition of golf carts on Lafayette Avenue. So as of the effective date of this ordinance, the entirety of section 75.06 of the City of Lebanon's Code of Ordinance is hereby amended and replaced to read as follows. There shall be no golf cart traffic permitted on any state highways located within the city, specifically State Road 32 and State Road 39. Golf cart traffic shall also be prohibited on Indianapolis Avenue. In addition, no golf carts shall be allowed to travel on city sidewalks, multi-use paths, or trails, and this shall be in full force and effect as required by Indiana law.
Thank you, Rob. Any further discussion, comments from council? Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2025-33
Yes.
for the golf cart.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Rob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. And I apologize. I had an oversight. You guys are going to be invited to an event. So Missy, if you wanted to give your invitation, please. Should have done this before we started our business.
Thank you, Mayor. Missy Krulik with the Heart of Lebanon. I just wanted to publicly invite you to the Carlisle Borders Gravestone Dedication and Legacy Celebration that is happening tomorrow, Tuesday, August 12th at 3 p.m. Our committee chose that time period because it's the anniversary of his death, even down to the approximate time. So we thought it was a great way to honor him in choosing that time. So if you'll remember, and if you've been down Alley Oop, you'll see that we have a sign that's dedicated to Carlisle Borders. He was the first African-American to play basketball for Lebanon High School in 1926. He died 2 years later and is buried in Oak Hill Cemetery in an unmarked grave. So we came together in February during celebrating Black History Month, and we had a campaign to raise money to provide Carlisle Borders with a gravestone. So the community came together and raised over $2,600. And so I'm happy to say that tomorrow we'll be unveiling that gravestone, and it's absolutely beautiful. The committee did a wonderful job in choosing the gravestone and honoring Carlisle's legacy as a desegregation pioneer and the first African-American basketball player. So we would love to have you join us. You can park at St. Peter's Episcopal Church. They've graciously offered their parking lot to us. And then First Baptist Church has graciously offered to shuttle us on their bus over to the grave site. So we'll have a ceremony there. We've invited Eunice Trotter with Black Heritage Preservation Group with Indiana Landmarks. She's going to be there speaking as well. So we're excited to have you there. We're excited to provide this for the community, and most importantly to honor Carlisle's legacy and his contribution to our community.
Missy, is it open to the public if they wanted to attend?
It is open to the public. We would love to have anybody and everybody there to celebrate his legacy.
Thank you. All righty. Apologize for should've done that at the top of the meeting. We'll return to old business. Next item up is ordinance 2025-24. This is consideration of a vacation of unimproved right-of-way. This is on Edgewood Drive. Ben?
Mayor, good evening, council. I will do a quick recap for you from the last meeting as soon as this fires up. So this is a vacation request by the two property owners adjacent to what you can see here is an unimproved right-of-way that's part of Edgewood Section 1. If you recall from last time, Edgewood Section 1 was platted back in the 1950s, and it was assumed at that time that there would be future phases of development that would move to the east. Over time, that did not take place. However, Fisher Homes developed what we know now as Cedar Ridge to the east there, and they wanted to have their own access point off of Fordyce. So they did not use that right away that was platted for a public road. As you can see here in this at the top of the screen, they do have their own entrance on Fordyce. So given the fact that this is not a public right-of-way or a use as a public road and will never be used as a public road due to how this area was developed out. The neighboring property owners did submit a request to vacate this right-of-way, which the process would be to vacate 50% to the north property owner and 50% to the south property owner. And that is a request for you here tonight. This kind of shows you an exhibit of how that vacation would take place. They're splitting it 50-50 between those two property owners. And the only one detail that we are working out with them is that there is an electric line that crosses the easternmost part of that right of way. So we did have work with Lebanon Utilities. They have asked for a utility easement to be dedicated across that easternmost part of this right of way. And so we are working with the property owners to get that. In fact, I do have the exhibit from the surveyor showing that easement. It's an 8-foot easement that would extend across there. And that's just kind of highlighting in yellow where the easement exists and where it would need to be extended across that right of way. So that vacation ordinance is before you tonight on second reading, and then we'll work with the property owners to get that 8-foot easement for the utility that's there dedicated. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Ben from council? Okay, Rob, you mind reading the ordinance, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Council Ordinance 2025-24, again, concerns an ordinance of this council to vacate public ways. This council Heard on first reading, again, as well as would been that the Plan Commission previously sent a favorable recommendation to this council for its consideration of a vote to 8-0. And pursuant to Indiana law, the city has the authority to vacate public right-of-ways and now finds that the public right-of-ways identified in Exhibits A, B, and C are no longer needed for the benefit of the public. And the conveyance of the real estate described in Exhibit A shall be to the Musics, and the conveyance of the real estate described in Exhibit B shall be to the Mr. Bowling. And this ordinance shall be in full force and effect in accordance with Indiana law.
Rob, and there's no required public hearing, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there any public comment, though, concerning ordinance 2025-24? Okay.
I just want to correct, so I was not at the last public meeting, but I believe we did have a public hearing at that, correct?
We held the required public hearing at the last council meeting.
Oh, thank you.
So
Okay.
there's not for today.
Okay, fair enough. All right. We already held it then, so, all right. But if there's still any public comment? Seeing none? Okay. At this time, then, is there further discussion, comments from council?
I'd make a motion that we pass ordinance 2025-24.
Motion to adopt, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Sandra. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, council. That concludes what I have for old business. Anything from council? Okay. New business then. First item up here is a food and beverage request from the Back to the 50s. Carmen Oninger. They got to go somewhere.
Good evening, council. And we're back to the 50s again this year. This is our 31st event. And I appeared before the committee the other evening and to discuss our request for this year's event. We're requesting $1,500. I think they have a different amount in mind that they'll talk to you about. We're requesting funding for advertising and facilities assistance for our event. And we're going to use that towards sound for the entertainment, help with sound payment. And then facilities, it'll be using different things for the facilities. And again, this is our 31st year. I've given you a couple of sheets. One is our car show flyer, and the other is the list of the events for the day. Last year, we had 249 car entries, and we hope to have that again. And if you're available, we're looking for some volunteers to help the day, park cars, or score judging sheets. So if you're available or know some folks that would like to help, please let me know, because we are needing some volunteers. We have some entertainment again this year. Terry Lee and his $1 Million Band, Roy Reynolds with his tribute to Elvis, and the Terrible Kids, which is the Journey Ray Band. And I think you all have seen them at 4th of July, and they're so good. They're just a really good band. We have, at this moment, 24 arts and crafts vendors and businesses. Returning this year is our railroaders with their garden scale railroad group, micro mini tractor pull, and returning after several years of trying to get him to come back is Dr. Darrell's Lego display. If you haven't seen that since it was downtown in 2010 at the library, I finally got him back to bring his Lego display, and it's quite wonderful. And he's got some classic Lego sets to sell, and I'm sure there's going to be people really interested in those. But his Lego display, he's calling it his Winter Wonderland. He's got 2 or 3 displays, and they're trains, and I'm not sure what all he's bringing. He showed me a couple pictures, but I think he's going to bring more than just the 2 layouts. So he'll be in the RMC building with the railroaders. So you're going to see lots of trains in there. So I'm very excited about that, because I've bugged him for several years to come back, and he says, I'm not doing it anymore. Not. This year he is. So the Lego is quite beautiful and wonderful. Lots of food, different foods. I've got some new food vendors this year, so I'm excited about that. but of course, the car show and the antique bicycle show. So we've got that silly safari, which brings quite a wonderful array of exotic animals. And the kids don't understand that they're getting educated on the side, but we sneak that in. So we like to have them back every year, and the animals they bring are really wonderful. I requested the same gentleman back because he was definitely looked like the safari guy. I don't know whether we'll get him or not, but I'm got my fingers crossed. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Mark Lehman back with magic. We're not doing the inflatables this year. Those are not bringing in the crowd that we want. So we don't get the children as much as we were downtown. When we were downtown, we were the babysitters for a lot of kids, and now they have to come with their parents. So inflatables weren't as big a draw, but we do get quite a few kids anyway. But, and everything, the entertainment will be in the arena. So that'll be all under roof in case we have bad weather. So I'm excited that we're under the arena and using as many of the 4-H grounds facilities as we can. Any other questions that I can move for you or give to you?
Any questions for Carmen?
Just a comment, I want to give you a lot of credit for being at this for so long, because I was used to participate in the very
I think I've
early
been there
ones.
all but 2 years.
Yeah.
I started with Lori Brown asking me, would I stuff envelopes? I'm still stuffing envelopes. Still stuffing envelopes. But I enjoy it. I get the permits from the state, permits from you guys that I need. We have the DARE trailer and the DARE vehicles, ambulances and everything for safety. Lebanon and county police officers are there on the grounds to help us. So we try to cover all that we need to for safety and attend all the seminars that we can, that we know that we're covering all our bases. So everything that we can, we do. And try to draw in family-friendly entertainment. We don't serve alcohol.
You do a good job, thank you.
Thank you.
And I don't have much more to add to that. She really pretty much covered everything.
I've been doing this a while, so it's,
But we did meet with Carmen.
it is what it is.
We met with her on the 28th of July, and wanted to note too that this is all volunteer. So what they do there is just phenomenal for it to be all volunteer and people.
And we
not
do
getting
give
paid.
back to the community. I didn't say what all we do. There's several. Shop with a Cop, we've given to the Christmas lights before. We've given to Scouts. I got a whole list of things. And we were part of the 4-H. They did a thing on a Monday where they had all the not-for-profits there so we could reach out to the community. There were 30 of us there that day. So it was really nice to be able to reach out to the community and show what all we do. So that was really nice
Again, you stole some of my
that day. I got a few.
but no, that's okay. They have a silent auction at the car show as well, which is pretty nice. They're honoring the Camaro this year, since she had said to us that it's no longer being made, and they were going to honor the Camaro. The arts and crafts, like she said, they have 35 booths, and 22 to 24 of them are filled. They have food vendors, 6 to 7 of those. The Lebanon, our sponsorship will show up in the stage area from the Food and Beverage Committee from Lebanon, the city. And I was going to mention some of the things they did. She said Shop with a Cop, the Christmas lights. They have high school charisma and the Weba Show Choir, and then Humane Society and Lebanon Little League. So they contribute to all those as well. We have agreed on the committee that $1,200 is what we're going to do, and that will, Carmen said, help pay for the facilities rental and sound tech.
Okay. So is there a motion then?
I'll make a motion to approve from the Food and Beverage Committee, $1,200 for Back to the 50s.
A motion, is there a second? Second. Second from John for the discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Good luck with your event.
Thank you. And our banners will be to your office on the 23rd, I believe.
Yep.
To
And
hang.
the Public Works will get them up for you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Carmen. All right. Next up will be ordinance 2025-25. This is an amendment to our parking schedules in the city concerning parking on Fordyce Street from Park Street to John Bar Road. Kevin.
Thank you very much. Ordinance 2025. It is what, as just described, really this originated from a request that I received from Mr. Kincaid. I've also had conversations with Major Hood on some of the difficulties with the on-street parking that is particularly in the area east of Park Street. So this is an ordinance, though, that amends City Ordinance, Chapter 77, Schedule 1 of the City Code that lists out the no parking areas in the city. So this would be adding this to the list, which would be item number triple E, both sides of Fordyce Street from the east line of Park Street to the west line of John Bart Road.
Mike, this is your district. Anything you wanted to say on this?
Just that since they built the new school, Fordyce Street's going to be a very busy route for people to get to and from the school. And it is, I know it's kind of an optical illusion when you got the yellow stripes down the middle and that car's there, it looks like it completely blocks the lane. And so it just, and that's just one car. If more people start doing that, it's going to end up a one-lane road. So anyway, I just think because of the school mainly, I think it should be no parking on both sides.
Thank you, Mike. Further discussion, comments from council?
Yeah, I would agree with that on both sides of the street, but because it was before, there was never curbs on there, and that's why it's different.
Correct. Yep. The
And those
road
people
is
all have driveways, everyone there.
true. The road, all the homes on the road have fairly significant driveways. I think the one in question is probably the shortest driveway on the road. The road is wider than it was before, but yes, it is now curbed. And although we have other streets, even West Main Street is a good example, it's the same dimensions. I think there is a bit of an optical issue. This road is striped. The center line is striped. West Main Street is not striped. So there where we have cars parked on the street, there is still room to have two cars pass simultaneously next to a parked car. You do have to slow down, which is what we want when we're designing streets through our residential areas. But there is an optical issue that makes it appear that there's less room there because of the striping.
And also, when you have the concrete curbs, and people, they see the asphalt and they think they can only drive on that. So they lose a few inches.
They do.
In that optical illusion,
they
you
do.
know.
So I have no issue. Obviously, the hierarchy of that street has changed a little bit, especially as you mentioned, with there being a new elementary school built on the east end of it. So I don't see any issue with proposing the ordinance as we put together. I think you have support from the police department. I guess I shouldn't speak for the whole department, but certainly Officer Hood and I have had conversations about that. So for your consideration, on first reading tonight, ordinance 2025-25 to add that section of Fordyce from Park Street to John Bart Road to your no parking schedule.
Both sides?
Both sides.
Yes.
It previously was on the list as one side only, so we're just adding the other side.
Even on the sides got signs says no parking, and they still park there.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a lot of people that park there now?
That's right.
I've really only seen one car that seems to create a problem.
Yeah, just one car right now.
Only take one.
That's been the only person that's not regularly parking in their driveway. I'm not sure why we've not spoken to that person. We will as we go through this process. But this will be read on first reading. It'll come up before you on a second reading before it would go into effect. And then we'll also have to work with DPW to install additional no parking signs.
I come in that way tonight. I'm coming to the meetings. I come around. I thought, Fordyce Street. I wanted to look at the next ordinance, and then I wanted to come down Fordyce Street. And I saw the comment about the white Dodge, whatever it is, and it was parked right there. It just happened to be parked right there. And here comes 3 cars headed eastbound, and here I'm headed westbound. I thought, well, this is going to be interesting. I see what they do. Now, of course, I moved over as far as I could move over. Might have been on part of the curb, I don't know. And, the curb. And it was funny. They all stopped and waited till I got by before they went around that white car. It is strange because you got the stripes right. If you didn't have the stripes there, probably wouldn't bother you. But you got the stripes there, and with the stripes there, it looks like that white car's totally blocking the lane. When you come up there and you think, what's this idiot blocking the lane for? And I just went through there Sunday and saw the same thing, and a car parked halfway out in the street, behind it. And I thought, it's without the stripes, you wouldn't notice it. You would not notice it. But with the stripes, it appears like it's blocking the lane. It's. I'm one of those that thinks there ought to be some sort of parking on the street, though. But
Any further comments before I have Rob read it? No, sir. Rob, you want to read the ordinance, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, Council. I think Kevin hit pretty much the guts of all this, but this ordinance 2025-25, again, is an ordinance concerning an amendment to Chapter 77 of the City Code for parking schedules. So essentially, this council finds as follows, that as of the effective date of this ordinance, Chapter 77, Schedule 1 of the City Code ordinance shall be amended to add the following. Again, triple E on both sides of Fordyce Street from the east line of Park Street to the west line of John Bart Road. And the remaining portions of Chapter 77 of the City Code shall remain in full force and effect and are not affected by this ordinance. And this ordinance shall be adopted as required by Indiana law.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. Ordinance been around on first reading. Okay, and with that.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance 2025.
Hold on. We can't make to approve it. It's only on first reading. If you would like to make a motion, if you want to make a motion to move it to second reading, we can do that. But we can't adopt it on first
Yes,
reading.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and go to the second reading.
We have a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance 2025-25. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Second from John. Yep, in order to suspend the rules, it must be unanimous by the council. So it's all those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we can suspend the rules on ordinance 2025-25 and move it to second reading. Obviously, Rob has now just read it again. Further discussion on ordinance 2025-25. Okay.
One thing, and just a curiosity question, how quickly will those signs be put up?
I'll have to confirm with with DPW on what they have in stock and how soon they can order those and have them in place. I guess I would say approving the ordinance is one thing. I wouldn't expect our police department to write tickets on an unsigned, issue. I think before there would be any enforcement of the ordinance, we need to have the signs installed. I would guess no more than 8 weeks, typical order time frame for new signage, but I couldn't speak directly.
I haven't been by there, but is there a way, and I haven't seen that location, so there might not be, but on where you don't want somebody to park, you've got the yellow striping there on the street?
Yeah, once we stripe the yellow if the ordinance prohibits parking, but we can't stripe it yellow unless it's defined in the ordinance as no parking.
We wouldn't stripe the whole street yellow. The only places we typically stripe are at intersections to make sure that people are providing the proper separation from crosswalks, and then in front of fire hydrants.
Just meant right there where that parking is not supposed to be.
Right. Well, but the parking is permitted there today. So it is a legal parking location today. And so that's the discussion, is to change it to not a legal parking.
And once it's not legal, are we going to consider striping that, or do you need to?
I think we would sign it instead of painting that.
Yeah, it was just, or depend too, if it's within the intersection, if it's 20 feet from intersections, is that what it is, right?
20 feet from a crosswalk.
20 feet from a crosswalk, or also within a certain feet of a hydrant as well. So, okay, any other further discussion? Any public comment? Okay, is there a motion concerning ordinance 2025-25?
Make a motion we approve ordinance 2025-25.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Rob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, council. All right, next up, ordinance 2025-26. This is also amending our traffic schedules. Kevin.
Thank you very much. Same vein here, 2025-26. We turn in our city code back one chapter to chapter 76, and then we look at Schedule V, which are all the stop-controlled intersections. So we are adding this to that list. So this would be adding an all-way stop condition at John Bart Road and County Road 150 North. The reason I say all-way as opposed to a four-way is that the western leg of that is actually the entrance into the school, the new Central Elementary, and the bus garage. So it's not a public street. So I think technically we would call this an all-way stop as opposed to a four-way stop. But effectively would be the same either way. The signs have already been installed or installed by the school corporation. This, again, is an ordinance that's put in place that will allow our police department to enforce the rule and enforce the signs.
And the stop sign was installed as part of their development plan. So that was part of their rules to when they built it to install it. It's just a matter of us now mirroring our own ordinances with what was approved from a development standpoint, if that makes sense. Okay. Rod, go ahead and read the ordinance, please.
Thank you, Mayor Council. Ordinance 2025-26, again, concerns an ordinance concerning an amendment to Chapter 76, which are traffic schedules. This council finds that as of the effective date of this ordinance, Chapter 76, Schedule 5, stop intersections of the City Code of Ordinance shall be amended to include A, John Bart Road and County Road 150 North, always stop, as Kevin indicated, and the remaining portions of Chapter 76 of the City Code shall remain in full force and effect and are not affected by this ordinance. And this ordinance shall be in full force and effect if adopted in accordance with Indiana law.
Thank you, Rob. Any further discussion, comments on ordinance 2025-26?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is County Road 150, is that in the county or is that in the city?
County Road 150 is still a county road, but John Bart, adjacent to the school property, has been annexed to that. That is a city street.
It's considered a city street.
Right. And it was already a stop condition on 150 North coming into the intersection.
I just want to make sure we didn't need any authorization from the county.
No, we don't. Also, whenever we annex a road or annex a parcel, all of the adjacent right-of-way is included. So it would include that full intersection there as part of that as well. So, okay. With that, unless there's any other motions concerning ordinance 2025-26, we'll take that up at our next meeting, which will be August 25th at 7:15 p.m. Where we'll be on the second reading.
Can we make a motion to go ahead? Can we suspend the rules for that one?
You can do whatever
There's
you
a
want.
stop sign. The
You can do
school's
whatever you want,
already up.
Counselor. Yep. Do you want to make that
I'd
motion?
make a motion, we suspend the rules and go to second reading.
We have a motion to suspend the rules in ordinance 2025-26. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Sandra that time.
Yeah.
Again, suspending the rules must be unanimous, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, rules are currently suspended on ordinance 2025-26. Move to second reading. Thank you, Rob, for reading it again. Further discussion, comments? Okay, is there a motion concerning ordinance 2025-26?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-26, correct?
We have a motion to approve and a second from Mike. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That ordinance is adopted. Thank you, council. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from council?
I got one question for Kevin. Kevin? John Bart Road and Fordyce Street, is there a sidewalk southbound on John Bart Road from Fordyce Street?
Yes, there is.
Yes, we, at part of the Fordyce Street project, added a sidewalk from
There to Morningside?
yes, basically, yes. It added a sidewalk along John Bart Road from Fordyce to Morningside. So there is now a sidewalk there. There was already a sidewalk further south of there, south of Morningside, that was built as part of the Morningside neighborhood.
I just wonder if we should
Just gotta
be,
turn the corner.
okay,
with
I
it,
was
yeah.
just wondering if we should be looking at John Barton Fordyce Street then someday. Maybe
Oh,
not
is
right-
another three-way stop?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I don't know if we got kids coming from Morningside,
Well,
walking across there, or,
Yeah, there was the reason we ended up with this intersection as stop controlled was because of a traffic study that the school corporation did. And that traffic study recommended that improvement, some sort of an intersection improvement at 150. It did not recommend any improvements beyond what was already there at Fordyce.
You
It's,
studied that
again, something we could study further. I would say it'd be best to study that now that we're seeing the actual real effects of traffic in the area. But at the time, based on theoretical increases in traffic, it wasn't warranted.
Well, there isn't a north-south crosswalk there, though, correct? I thought the trail is a bit further north. I didn't think it was that close.
There is a trail on the north side of Fordyce, and then on the west side of John Bart across the school property is also a trail. And so those two come together at that northwest corner of Fordyce and John Bart. And then there is a crosswalk to the south. And then there are sidewalks on the south side of Fordyce and the west side of John Bart connecting to the Morningside entrance.
But there's no crosswalk crossing John Bart Road.
I'm
though.
sorry, no, there
Yeah,
is
that's what, yeah.
there is no crosswalk
Sorry.
crossing John Bart Road, just crossing north and south across Fordyce.
So any car would have to be slowing to make the turn anyway and would see that if
Yeah.
it was trying.
and there's a 20 mile an hour zone there,
Yeah,
I noticed.
correct.
But I just
Yep.
thought
Yes, we have signed the school zone.
People grows that may
Yes.
warrant a stop sign. That's all I
Definitely,
have.
I think it might be something to look into, even just putting a crosswalk somewhere down. I know off of Fordyce and Atlas Drive there, like that's the one right
Yeah.
before Morningside's entrance, somewhere along there with maybe like flashing signs closer to school, just so if there are kids going to be walking that way, there's a safer place for them to cross instead of waiting all the way till they get down the road. Because I know that there'll be a lot of kids from that area going. So
Yeah, we'll need to think about how we do handle some mid-block crossings there as well too. Yeah.
We did get a request from the principal at the new Central Elementary for us to look at a mid-block crossing. They were just concerned with the kids having to walk all the way to the intersection of John Bart, cross the road to get onto the school property and come back. As a matter of practice and principle, we're not crazy about mid-block crossings. They're inherently more dangerous. But we are looking at that and what it would take to create a new crossing and to properly make sure it's signed and lighted and safe for kids crossing the street. Ideally, though, maybe, and I think this is maybe where you were thinking, is if we were to put the crossing at an intersection and create another stop-controlled intersection, say at Atlas Drive, or to be honest, I think the geometry would work a little better if it was at Morningside. So we're kind of investigating that and seeing if it would make sense to make Morningside a three-way stop, and then kids could cross the street there more safely than at all the lights and signs in the world. People sometimes aren't paying attention when they're not thinking they have to stop. So we would prefer, especially when kids are involved, that we're having them cross the street at a stop condition.
We probably have to do some similar treatment as we did on Lafayette Avenue for that crossing, and we've beefed it up obviously quite a bit, and it takes a lot to make sure, and even with that, it still can be hit or miss too. So and you don't want any hits in this situation. So
I don't like that crossing. Can we remove that?
we just passed the stop sign ordinance. You guys can do a lot of things. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you why. The funny thing is, I've headed up the avenue towards town, and I come through the stop.
If you remember, that was initially when we first did the stop sign at Riley Road, which wasn't unanimous, I don't think. Which now people say is one of the best things we've done. That was proposed too as a stop sign there at camp. but we were thought to be too many stop signs back to back.
I'm not proposing to change it. but
I know.
What's happened a couple times to me coming to town, I've actually stopped at that light. You know, I've
Good.
stopped the people.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's what it's supposed to be for.
Stopped at which light?
You gotta be kidding.
The pedestrian crossing,
Crosswalk.
the flashing lights.
You're the only one. Nobody else
Nobody
does
else stops?
anyway.
Okay.
You're the only one.
I'll admit, Mr. Robertson, I did it just last week. I was like, what am I doing? And the lights weren't flashing. There wasn't a kid there. Wasn't anybody crossing. I just stopped. I stopped.
And the kids leave, but the lights stay flashing for probably up to a minute. I've
Correct.
noticed.
They did add motion control sensors there. So it's not, you don't have to push a button. They're not always blinking. They blink when someone walks up to the crosswalk.
Well, the funny thing, a guy was coming north. When he saw me stop, he stopped.
I did the same thing. I don't know why. I drive through there all the time, but one
Visible
time
stop
last
sign,
week
I
I
guess.
stopped.
All right, I think I'm losing control here. Any other new business from council? Okay, we'll move on to claims. When there's a motion concerning the claims. Mike thinks we should pay the bills. Is there a second? Second from Sarah. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Those claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion from council? Okay, we'll move on to adjournment, and we entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion adjourned from John, second from Sandra. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, our next city council meeting will be August 25th at 7:15 PM. We are adjourned.
Next week, my daughter's getting married in that week.
Carter, come here.
I guess that's